screaming or whatever. And no matter what he did, the phone wouldn't take a charge. So without a phone, it's pretty hard to do a walk and talk. So anyhow, lo and behold, somehow, some way, we found a combination of a cord and a combination of an adapter that, when plugged in, actually worked, saving myself the pain of having to get a brand new phone. So hopefully this winds up remaining. All right, that said, so today we're going to do a sit and talk. And our sit and talk today, we're gonna cover 4 topics. As always, we're gonna do politics, we're gonna do opinion, we're gonna do wow, and we are going to do story time. I'm gonna start with Obama. Why else? Why not? Obama. Oh, it's probably President Obama calling now. Can you grab that, please? Okay. Anyway. Tell Obama I'm on walk and talk. Sit and talk, kind of. All right. Anyhow, let me get back into this. So, Obama is now going to put sanctions against Russia for hacking into the 2016 election. He's going to put sanctions on an entire country based on something that we don't really know happens. It's based on something that the Russians absolutely, unequivocally deny, based on something that Julian Assange from WikiLeaks, who has never, ever, ever been proven wrong or incorrect in 10 years, has come out and said, we did not get this information from the Russians. We did not get it from a state at all. Okay. Despite all of that, Obama is just continuing to go down this narrative that Russia is indeed the culprit of somebody or something or some group that hacked in to the DNC and to John Podesta. Now, what he fails to recognize in doing all of this is that it still won't even make a difference. If Russia were to come out and say, you know what, you caught us, Julian Assange has lied, we've been lying the whole time, you caught us. At the end of the day, it still comes down to the fact that the information that was provided in those emails has not been disputed. Nobody has come out, John Podesta, nobody involved has come out and said, I never really sent that email. That has not been the case. So again, what they're trying to do is they're trying to take the American eyeballs off the real issue and put it to something else. Now, make no mistake, this is a very strategic, long-term out-thinking plan by President Barack Hussein Obama. What he is doing right now with trying to put sanctions on the Russians, as far as I'm concerned, is layering up for 4 years from now. They will unequivocally, without any question, you can mark it down now, you can save this video, you can play it back whenever you want to. They will blame all of 2016 on Russia, claim that Trump's win was completely 100% invalid, was forced by another country, and will use that narrative to try to win 2020. Okay, this is big stuff. No joking around today with DML. I'm going straight on because it's very heady. You got to get all the different pieces. In creating this narrative and by putting sanctions on Russia when he has less than 30 days in office, he is trying to staple, I mean permanently staple, this is what happened. He is trying to make it where there can be no question whatsoever in the ongoing narrative that the Russians were, in fact, the culprits behind Hillary Clinton losing the election. Now, there's a couple reasons why this is very, very, very important. And I'm wondering whether Donald Trump has come to recognize yet what I'm about to tell you. Well, first of all, let me step back. In doing the sanctions, the other thing that Obama is trying to do, and they're scrambling right now to do it, is they're trying to figure out how to create these sanctions in such a way that when Trump gets into office, he cannot use the power of the pen, the executive order, to undo what it is that Obama is doing. Now, we're supposed to hear later this week, maybe as early as tomorrow, what these sanctions actually are. So far, reports are that they will be economic sanctions, they will be diplomatic sanctions, and they will be sanctions with regard to cyber whatever. I don't know how he does that. Only he knows. But the part that you have to understand is that he's trying to make it so this way Trump can't undo it. Why? Why? Why is he making it hard? Is it because he really, truly wants the sanctions on Russia? No. No. Remember I told you that when I was coaching football, I didn't think necessarily about the play that I should run. I based it on the play that the other coach thought I would run, and therefore I did the opposite, and that's why it was so I was so highly successful in coaching the offense that I had for 2 years. Obama has learned the hard way that if you don't think long enough ahead, you're gonna pay the price, and I'll get back to that as well. Obama is purposely going to try to make it hard for Trump to undo the sanctions because he knows that Trump is going to undo the sanctions. And by making it thoroughly difficult and making it so this way Trump has to have his team and himself actively engaging in the undoing of these sanctions, what he's trying to do is create a situation where the narrative becomes guilty by association, where it certainly, without any question, in every single liberal's mind, in the media's mind, well, yeah, obviously Trump and his team knew what was taking place. And part of the arrangement was that if there was anything like that, Trump would undo it. Make no mistake, that's what it is. It's not really sanctions as a true punishment. It's sanctions for the next election. It's sanctions for the narrative. It's sanctions that you will hear time and time again for the next 4 years. The single biggest narrative will be Donald Trump and Russia. That is what they're establishing. One of the biggest compliments that I can give the left and at the same time impose criticisms on the right, liberals between the media and politicians have made it where the message is that everything conservative is evil and everything liberal is successful. That's the way it's basically come out. If you're conservative, you're evil. If you're a Republican, you're evil. If you're a liberal and a Democrat and a progressive, you're a good person and you're successful. That is the way they make the narrative. If you look at Obama and his recent speeches, he has over and over and over again repeated how successful his presidency has been, how successful things are now, how great the country is. He pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds only the positive in his head. Obviously, it's all distorted craziness. Never, ever do you ever hear him really say anything to the tune of, I put on more debt into this country than all other presidents combined. When his wife is asked, what's the biggest regret you have? She says something as simple as, oh, I wish we could have done a little bit more with the gun stuff. Okay? They never, ever really drive into what the problems are or where the lack of success comes from, because they have learned how to message. They declare victory. I remember when I used to be a partner with John Scully, the former CEO of Apple and before that Pepsi. We were partners in a consulting firm. And he said to me, one of Apple's greatest successes early on is that we learned to declare victory before a product even came out, to declare victory if we had somebody against our competitors. We always positioned ourselves as being the strongest, the best in the industry, the strongest, the best in the vertical, whatever the space was. And you say that over and over and over again, and sooner or later, perception becomes reality. Oh, they're the best. They're the best. They're the leaders, regardless of what really is the case. So when you pound over and over again this message, boom, 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 you get it. The critique on the Republicans is they don't understand messaging. Donald Trump has been the first guy in a long, long time, since Reagan, on how it is to sell conservatism, on how it is to sell that conservatism is a success and that it does offer a plan to the American dream. He was able to sell it enough. I think there would even be a better salesman than himself, but he always, for every sentence that he talked about how great conservatism would be and how great America could be again, he was also having to defend this woman's allegation and this one's allegation and the tax returns and all the other different stuff. And that's why, as far as he goes, as far as a candidate goes, he wasn't a very good candidate in terms of having a clean slate, but he was great at messaging. He was great at getting people fired up. Think about this. The messaging, the conservatism has needed a massive makeover for a very long time. So it's not good at messaging. Knowing this is the case and knowing that they have the media in their back pocket, they set this story now, early on. Sanctions on Russia. It has been the Russians swayed the election. This is a problem. We have to fix it. I'm going to put sanctions on this now. We have to punish these people economically. We have to punish these people diplomatically. We have to punish this now. And making it so this way Donald Trump is going to want to change it, and he's going to work like the Dickens, leaving the question of why would he work so hard to take these sanctions off Russia? Okay? Now, understand something. I'm going to go into a little bit of a tangent here, so this way I could try to protect you. Understand something about hacking. My first very successful business was a computer business, and hundreds of employees, locations all over the country, tens of millions of dollars of revenue. I understand technology pretty well. If you send me today a download, I'm not going to download it. I don't care if you are 83 years old and you have spent your whole life without a single crime and you really don't know much, you would never be able to figure out how to hack or whatever it may be. You send me a file to download, I ain't downloading it. If you are my best friend and you send me something to download, I'm not downloading it. Today's hacking is so easy. It is so easy. I can literally take a file right now and embed a line of code, send it to you. The minute you click to download that file, I am now inside your computer. I can see everything that you do. I could watch every word you type. Let's say, for instance, you decide to send an email to your sister Susie. And in that Sister Susie email, you start off with want to let you know that I stole your credit card. And then you turn around and go delete, 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 delete. And then you decide to write, I have no idea who stole your credit card. And you hit send. I see not only what you sent, but I can see what you originally wrote. That's how powerful this stuff is. That is how powerful this stuff is. So when President Barack Hussein Obama says that he has the evidence, that they have the evidence that Russia is the ones who hacked in, I can't for the life of me think about how it is that they can absolutely tie back the hack to Russia with all the ways that a sophisticated system will absolutely 100% disguise how it is that it got in there. That little thing I talked about to you with the download, I defy you to take your computer up to Best Buy and let the computer geeks try to find that file. The ways of covering up the hacks, the way of trying to offset them knowing where it came from are so sophisticated. And at the level that you're talking about, if it is coming from Russia, coming into these systems, that America is just going to be able to say, oh, we've got all the different things to point back and show. Why aren't they showing us? Why aren't they proving it? Now, they will come back to you and say, well, it's a matter of national security. We can't identify how we figured it out. BS. Total BS. It's a total difference to say we can't tell you how the CIA got its information because we don't want to release the identities of our operatives, our CIA agents. Much different than turning around and saying, well, yeah, we tracked the IP address back to a Russian, back to Moscow, inside, oh, by the way, the Kremlin. It's all they have to do. They say that to us. What's the security breach there? What are they relinquishing? There's only a certain amount of ways to tell how somebody hacked in, and it doesn't reveal anything that's all too secretive. A hack is a hack. A hack is a hack. And that's why our president right now is a hack. He's a hack. He is trying to think long term on how it is that he is going to make sure that the 2020 election is not that of Donald Trump's. He's smart in terms of trying to do this, because he is smart in the fact that this narrative will stick with it for a very long time. Problem for Obama is that when you go back, he didn't always think like this. He's learned his lessons the hard way, as I told you before. For an example, when he took over office in 2008, he had the world in front of him. He could have done anything. He could have done immigration reform and really, truly, fundamentally transformed the country to where it could have been reversed. He could have given everybody amnesty. He could have given the whole thing, but he didn't. He went down the whole book of how you socialize a country and read the book that says the way you do it is through medicine, is through socializing healthcare. And so that's why he went with his healthcare bill first. But he made a mistake. He made a mistake. He never ever thought that it would wind up turning out to be that a guy like Donald Trump would get the election with both sides of Congress coming in and having eventually the Supreme Court as well. He never envisioned that. So he pushed immigration off. If he had half a brain, he would have nailed the immigration thing first, because you can't repeal people. Okay? Obamacare is nothing more than a bad healthcare program that we could repeal and peel back. And he didn't think out loud. He didn't think smart enough. He only played the inning he was in. Now he's playing smarter after 8 years of realizing how things get peeled off. So the reason why I'm telling you that and I'm bringing that back is I want to bring it all together. You know how I work at this point. I bring it all together. What you're watching right now with this whole thing, with him putting sanctions on Russia, will be the number one thing talked about over the next 4 years. Remember that you heard me say that to you now. This will be the number one thing. Every president walks in to office with a plan. Remember George W. Bush. I love this conversation. I love this. I feel like I'm giving one of my speeches. Remember George W. Bush. He came in with a plan. His plan got totally upended by 9/11. He forever chased 9/11. He could never really get back on his wheels after 9/11. With Obama, it was a completely different deal. With Obama, he came in and everybody was so unbelievably shocked that this guy wound up coming in here with a name like Barack Obama, being the first black president. Everybody had this crazy love affair. And it wasn't until Obamacare and all the problems that he has been forever trying to chase his own problems that he made with Obamacare. With Trump, the thing that Trump is going, Trump's going in with a plan. There's always going to be that thing they're going to try to trip him up with. They're going to try to trip him up with the whole Russia thing. They're going to try to trip him up where he's forever chasing the Russians and the hacking and the mistrust that we're all going to have in the back of our head, that everything that takes place overseas may be connected somehow to Russia. This is going to be Trump's Achilles heel, and how he deals with it will basically determine how it is that he's going to wind up taking his presidency and his plan to fruition, because this will be the thing that is hanging over his head at all given times. You watch it. Okay, let's get into the opinion part, and it's a completely 100% different conversation than what we just had. I want to talk about the whole transgender thing. There was a story today on DennisMichaelLynch.com about a young girl who identifies as a boy who was in the Cub Scouts, who was asked to leave the Cub Scouts. Now, I'm not completely, totally familiar with the story and the nuances of it. I didn't study enough of it. I was too busy dealing with the phone issues. But when I saw it, I said, ooh, this is a great topic, because this is something that had huge impact months and months and months ago. I remember on my show, when I had the Newsmax show, we talked about this every day for, I think, a month. And I was very passionate about this topic. And I'm curious to see what your positions on this are as well. And I'll read your comments later after I'm done. I once said to you not so long ago that there is really nobody in the United States of America who is better off today than they were when Obama took office, with the exception of gay, lesbian, transgender, that bisexual, that whole group is definitely doing better today than they were 8 years ago. And Obama has done a lot to push certain things through for them, despite the fact that when you listen to him 8 years ago, he was singing a totally different tune. The whole, what bathroom do you, I'm not going to go to the whole Cub Scout thing. We could go back to that, I guess, if you want to, but the whole, what bathroom do you use? My opinion is this. If my two daughters are going into the girls' bathroom, and a guy who identifies himself as a girl wants to go into those and goes into that bathroom, we have a problem. No other way around it. And it's not and I actually interviewed, I'm probably one of the only conservative TV hosts to ever do this. I don't know of any other ones. I had on 2 transgenders. I let them come on. And when I come on, when people came on my show, and my future shows, when we launch the media platform, I don't have them come on so I can bash them like other guys. Other people have the shows, they put them on just simply so they could beat the hell out of the liberal, beat the hell out of whatever. I've never been like that. I don't believe in attacking your guest. I believe allowing your guest to paint them into a corner. I think it's a much better way. Although I'll give you an example. Tucker Carlson. I watch some segments of his show, and I know Tucker, and I think he's a great guy. I watch his show, and finally, it's like, hey, somebody conservative other than Hannity on Fox News. But I have watched parts of his interview before, where I think that if he wasn't jumping on the person, if he wasn't attacking on the person, and he just let that person finish their sentence or their 2 sentences, the point would be better. Because you actually let them paint themselves into a corner. That has always been my strategy. If you watched They Come to America Too, although he's not a liberal, some people think he's a rhino, Congressman King, when I show him the pictures of the Chinese signs down in the desert, right? If you watch that scene, and if you don't have the movies, just look for it. Just look for They Come to America Too on YouTube, and you'll see it. I let him paint himself into the corner. I don't reveal that I have this picture in my hand. I ask him who he's most afraid of coming through the border, and he tells me, there's no worry, Dennis, about Chinese. And then I show it to him. Had I gone after him right away, there's Chinese going across the border, you blew it. It doesn't work as well. Okay. So I would have transgenders come on and say, I don't understand why you're a man with a manhood and you want to be a female without that. I can't get my head around it. Can you explain it to me? And there's never really a good explanation. And it sort of just leaves it out there where you're like, sounds to me like there may be something going on upstairs, and maybe we will never understand it, truly. But it's not my place to understand it. It's my place to ensure the fact that my daughters don't have some guy who is completely, in my mind, unstable, going into that bathroom when those girls are in there. And I know that's a harsh stand for some people, but my job as a father is to protect those girls. In the same way that if my boys were in the bathroom and some girls wanted to go in there because they identify as boys, I say, hey, this isn't appropriate. My take is that you go to the bathroom and you join the organizations that you are biologically tied to, not where you identify with, where you are biologically tied to. If you are by nature a boy, you go with the boys. If you are by nature with a girl, you go with the girl. That's it. That's my opinion. I want to hear what yours is. Send your opinions to me at wetrustdml@gmail.com. And if you think I'm wrong on this, be polite. Come back. It's an opinion. It's an opinion. I don't get to make the laws. All right. But I can share an opinion. You share your opinion. Send it back to me. All right. Next. Last night, I posted. This is the wow. Last night, I posted a video of Scarlett Fakhar. She is she's the third member of the TV side of the new DML platform that we're going to be putting out. She's, I think, the 12th hire we've made, but she's the third member of the TV side. I'm first member. I told you about Harlan Hill. He was with me when we did the walk and talk. I think it was a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago in New York City. And now you saw Scarlett Fakhar. I have always had... What's up, kiddo?
Nothing. I'm just looking for Daddy. Sorry.
I don't know where he is, sweetie. I got to go back to doing my thing, okay? All right. Sorry about that. I have always been very good at being able to pick out talent. Just comes to me. When I saw Scarlett Fakhar for the first time, obviously she's beautiful. I mean, you know, her beauty just screams through the camera, and God bless, right? But the part I was more interested in was what came out of her mouth. And she sort of explained a little bit of this last night. I want to tell you a little bit more about it because I think you really appreciate her more than maybe even appreciated it. And if you haven't seen her yet, you haven't heard her yet, you got to go to DennisMichaelLynch.com and just search Scarlett in the top, and the video will come up. Or you could just go to Facebook and click the video tabs, and hers, you know, on the video tabs, you'll see it. She's the one who doesn't look like me. Listen to what she says for the 2 minutes. What does she say? She explains that she wants to tell the truth, that she is, she comes from Fox in Houston, where she used to be in a newsroom with all the luxuries and benefits that come working for a major network in a newsroom. She says that she thinks the best thing that ever happened to her is that she got fired for expressing her support of Trump and her disliking of the things that Obama has done for the country. She gets fired for that. She comes and says that she thinks now that she's a month and a half out of it, it's the best thing that ever happened to her, because now she gets to be part of a startup that doesn't come with the cushy stuff that you get at Fox. And she gets to tell the truth. She gets to voice her opinion in the way that she's always wanted to. Imagine that. Imagine having to go to work every day and not be able to feel like you can tell the truth, or that you cannot express how you feel about something. This is the world that this girl has been trapped in because she didn't know the worlds like our world even existed. Okay. Then she goes on to say how she and I have worked together and gone back and forth with ideas, and I want to tell you about that. That's, to me, this is the wow part. And then at the end, she thanks God for giving her the opportunity and for making the plan. I mean, I sat there and listened to her speak. Hold on. Hey, Mary or Ryan, can one of you go over there and get me the charger and the Mary, the block charger? I'm going to lose power here. The black charger, it's over there, and I need a iPhone cable, so this way I can plug it into this. Something's wrong with this thing. Hurry up, because it says I got low battery. Thank you, Ryan. Give me a second. And that, yeah, I'm hoping it works. Gotta move a little quicker. I don't know what low means. Thanks, brother. I don't know. Thanks. All right, if you lose me, I lost my battery. Something's wrong. I got to get a new phone. I got no choice. All right, so anyhow, so she thanks God or whatever it may be. I had no idea what she was going to say. I just told her, I said, make a welcome video, keep it to 2 minutes or less. That's it. I said, I think it will work well. Well, the video has been shared 10,000 times, watched, I think, almost 600 or 700,000 times. Everybody, I mean, it's got thousands upon thousands and thousands of comments about how wonderful Scarlett is. But here's the part you didn't see. Here's the part where you really understand how wonderful this person is and why I ultimately decided that she was right for what we're doing here. She reached out to me after you folks reached out to her and said, oh, you got fired, you should go to Dennis Michael Lynch. He said that he would hire you, and I was just saying it in passing. You know, I had no plan of really reaching out to her. She reached out to me. I called her back, and when I called her back, I talked to her, and immediately I just liked the sound of her voice. It was pleasant. It was nice. It was Texas, right? So, and on top of that, as a Trump fan, and a guy who actually lost his show because of related topics, you know, my, as far as I'm concerned, you know, not wanting to bash Fox News and wanting to tell the truth about Hillary, it all wound up being to the end of my show, and I wouldn't stick around, right? So I left. So everything she was saying, I could totally relate to. So she said that she had other offers, that she was working with other big name websites, and they were offering her potential positions or whatever. I said, okay. And I explained to her, complete honest, we're smaller than them, but eventually we would be bigger than them. And I outlined my plan. And I said, if there's anything I can do to help you, you let me know. And I don't need anything in return. And she was shocked to hear that sort of thing. And I said, that's the way I am. I feel that I have had people help me over the course of time, and it's helped me get to where I am. And those people who didn't ask for anything in return for their help are the ones that I will forever be loyal to. So to me, you know, you were loyal to the truth. You got fired for that, and I will give you all the expertise and all the contacts that I have to try to help you, even if it winds up being that you compete against me. So she was blown away, and I said, give me a call back and let me know how things stand. So a couple weeks passed, and she contacted me back, and she said, hey, I just want to let you know where I am with this stuff. I said, okay, fine. We talked, whatever, and I gave her some of my opinions about this firm or that firm, and how I would and would not say. I mean, I was actually trying to help her get a job to compete against me. And so she came back, and I can tell that she liked the conversations we were having, and that she appreciated it. I mean, she couldn't have said thank you more than, I don't know, it was 500 times. I actually had to say to her, stop saying thank you. And I told her that I would give her an offer, but that she had to make a few videos for me to take a look at, and that she had to be willing to be critiqued. That I wasn't going to blow smoke. Oh, you're great, you're this, you're that. That I was going to critique. And the whole thing was, how will she take the critique? So every day on time, she would send me a video based on a topic. I'd say, give me a video about the 22 suicides by every veteran. You know, veterans, 22 suicides a day. Give me a video about it. She'd send me a video. I'd critique it. I wouldn't tell her how great she was. I'd say, well, you did this, you did this, you did this, you did that. Okay? Next, I give her another video. I said, make me a video about hungry kids and hunger in America. She'd come back with that video. Boom, 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 boom. Same thing. We did it for, I don't know, 5 or 6 videos in a row. And then I can see that she was not allowing herself to come out in all these videos. There was something holding her back. I said, right. And that's probably because she was trained by, mainstream media, where she just gets on and reads off a teleprompter and says, tonight, 4 people were blah, 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 blah. I said, I have a question for you. Right now, what's the number one memory in your head? She's like, what do you mean? I said, right now, what is the number one memory in your head? So she says, it's a story about when my mom she doesn't like going into the ocean getting wet, and it was calm, and we convinced her, after long convincing, I got her to go into the raft, and we went, and believe it or not, all of a sudden a rogue wave came, knocked her over, and she got all wet. She goes, it's hysterical. And she started laughing as she was reciting that entire story. I said, great, now make me a video giving me the story. And he said, what? I said, yeah, give me a video making the story. She takes the video, makes the story, sends it back to me. I said, see the person in that video? That's Scarlett. That's Scarlett Fakhar right there. You take that, and I want every single news report and opinion you do to be that person. That person is the person who will be a star. She was like, okay. So she makes me another report. She makes me another video, and that person who told the story about her mother was in every video. And that's when I said to her, you're hired. So the thing about this woman, she's old enough to be my daughter, or I'm old enough to be her father, I should say. I'm getting old. I think this girl, this woman, Scarlett, if I'm right, and I can teach her, and she's open as she is now, and truthful as she is now, I'm telling you right now, she will be the biggest name in news in America. That person right now is probably, and I know some of you will frown on this, is Megyn Kelly. Name recognition at the top of her game. I'm not so crazy about all those things, but this girl will be the number one girl in America. Number one female newscaster or news personality in the country will be Scarlett Fakhar. Remember, I said that. 2 things I want you to remember today. Remember, I said that. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to end early, but I'm going to give you this story real quick. There is another story on DennisMichaelLynch.com today about 2 girls. They're from Toronto. They go to Nigeria. They're sleeping with wealthy businessmen and politicians. And they are like the Kardashian sisters. That's their whole thing. They're like the Kardashian sisters, and they take pictures of themselves and they post them all over Instagram. And then what they do is they do that. Well, this is the way the story goes anyway. Allegedly, they do that, and that lures in these rich guys and these politician guys who all come in and say, "Oh, I like these girls." And so what they do, allegedly, is they sleep with these guys, and they take pictures and videos of themselves doing it, and then they go and they blackmail them. They extort their money from them. And I'm reading this story, and I'm saying, you know what, we're going to publish this story. We're going to publish the story. And the girls got bagged, and the way they got caught, is that they were trying to extort money from a wealthy billionaire, a wealthy businessman. I don't know if he's a billionaire or not. I'm getting the 2 words mixed. And he's like, he was going to give money, and he's like, wait a second. This is crazy. So because he has enough money, he goes and he has an investigation done, and they find out that this is what these girls do. He calls the Nigerian authorities. They go in there, and now they're up on counts on doing this for 227 times, allegedly. My problem with this, with these 2 young girls, what has happened? As a father of 2 girls, what has happened? Here I am telling you about this young girl, Scarlett Fakhar, right? She gets dealt a bad hand. And what does she do? She rises up and says, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to get something. I'm going to try to get something better. I'm going to do more with my life, whatever it may be. Where are these two girls' parents? Where are they? Where is society? Why are we allowing this sort of thing to happen? Everybody has talents. Everybody. You tell me there's something that these two girls couldn't figure out to do other than sleep with men, take photos and videos of it, and try to steal money? Where's the world gone? Where's the morals? Where's the outrage? Why does this... And what about the guys? What about the dirtbags who are sleeping with these girls? Where are their morals? But I don't know. You tell me. Send me an email. WeTrustDML@gmail.com. DML, you weren't funny today. I know it wasn't funny. You want something funny? I'll tell you something funny. Go to my daughter's Instagram account, which is Instagram.com/DML is my dad. There is a picture there. I told you there was gonna be a doozy posted. It's me with a shower cap on, about to go into the shower with a towel, and my daughter was doing a project or our son was doing a project for school. And take a look at that. Yeah, if you want to laugh. That's your laugh of the day. All right, tomorrow, for as long as this phone doesn't crap out on me, we will be hell or high water. If it's raining, if it's time to build an ark, I will be outdoors tomorrow walking. My legs are itching for it. So 11:40 Eastern time tomorrow, we will be walking. Snow, rain, hurricane, doesn't matter. I will be there early. And if it ain't my phone, it will be Mary's phone. If it ain't Mary's phone, it will be one of my kids' phones. And I will be there tomorrow. All right? So, until tomorrow, God bless you. God bless America. God bless our troops. Let's make America great again. And God bless Scarlett Fakhar. She is going to be a champ. Thanks.